I'm going to call the Planning and Economic Development Committee to order. I'm Deborah Root, Chair of the committee, and the first item on our agenda is a roll call, please.
Mrs. Root.
Here.
Mr. Barnes.
Present.
Mrs. Burdick.
Here.
Mr. Curran.
Here.
Mr. Dibble.
Here.
Mr. Healy. Mrs. Hopkins.
Here.
Here.
Mr. Ricky.
Here.
Mr. Crandall.
Here.
All are present.
Okay, thank you. And the next item is the approval of the minutes from September 22nd, and I entertain a motion for their approval. Mrs. Hopkins makes that motion, and Mr. Dibble seconds it. Any further discussion? If not, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor of the minutes as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. So the next item on the agenda is Rita Solbeck Lynch, Employment and Training Director, with her monthly report, and she also has a request for us today.
Good afternoon. Are there any questions on my monthly report? Okay, of the people who found employment year-to-date, we do have one veteran that found a job through us. And also under my veterans report, we have one who's starting training at the end of the month. BOCES in Belmont is offering CDL A and B training now, so we're very happy for that. There was one provider for a very long time, and that was in Salamanca. So now that they're providing it in Belmont, this will be great.
Any other questions? Does anyone have any questions for Rita on her report?
The Summer Youth Employment and Training, or the Summer Youth Employment Program has ended, and at the end of my report today, I'm going to show a short video that we had Nick Davis do of the program. Our target audience for that is mostly the schools, so we can show guidance counselors and the students to try to get them interested in the program.
Rita, was this out there on social media?
I think they dropped it this morning. They put it out there today.
Oh, okay, because it seems like I've seen it.
You have seen it.
Okay.
I was hoping they were going to wait until after 2 today, but they put it out there sooner. So.
Okay.
So
All
maybe
right.
you've already seen it.
Okay. So if there isn't any other questions about concerning the monthly report, you have a request to transfer funds.
Yes.
Yep. So that is in our packet. We're looking at transferring the amount of $1,250. And I will entertain a motion for that. Mr. Dibble makes that motion, and Mr. Barnes seconds it. Any further discussion or questions concerning this? If not, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? The motion's carried.
Okay. Thank you.
So Rita, when are you going to play the video at the end of today?
No, right
now.
Brenda's going to play it for you now.
Okay.
The Allegheny County Summer Youth Employment Program, or SYEP, offers local youth 14 through 20 years old 6 weeks of hands-on work experience with job placement in our area communities. We also offer a work experience program year-round designed to help ages 16 through 24 overcome barriers they have in their lives to become employed. Our goal for youth programs is to educate and train to turn our youth into quality members of the workforce. We offer youth a chance to boost self-confidence, learn hands-on job skills, good communication skills, build resumes, and create work references. In turn, our area youth will also learn money management. They have a chance to start earning a paycheck, set up a bank account, and save for upcoming milestones in their lives. Having a job teaches time management, problem solving, how to dress for work, and gives hands-on work experience. So, if you are looking for a positive way for your youth to spend their summer earning money and building long-lasting job skills, look no further than the Allegheny County SYEP and Work Experience programs. For more information, contact Allegheny County Employment and Training Centers located at 7 Wells Lane, Belmont, New York, or call 585-268-9445.
So we still have the year-round work experience for youth ages 16 to 24. So if you know anybody who's looking for a work or work experience, send them our way.
Okay, that was very nice, Rita.
Okay, thank you.
So, so let's just go back to this. You've dropped it. You said it's going to go out on social media. How can people see this if they want to go?
They can see it on Facebook at the Allegheny County Employment and Training Facebook page or the Allegheny County Employment and Training Youth page as well.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is Keir Durham, Planning Director, and he has his monthly report. We received it. Keir, do you want to do some highlights, and does anyone have any questions for Keir at this time?
Good afternoon. On my report, I'm going to note a few items. Worked my way down it for our new clerk there. Thank you for stepping up. We appreciate that. Starting tonight, Alfred State students, architecture students will be doing their presentation to the community. They're starting tonight in Belmont at the school. Tomorrow, Belfast, and then next week, Fillmore. So we put out a press release. You should have seen that already, but if you didn't, we can get that out to you. Each one is at a different time, so I can't even tell you exactly which one is which. But I know the one tonight's at the school for Belmont. Moving, 6 o'clock. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Moving down to the GIS report, in the last month, we've gone back to the Monday through Friday update on the COVID dashboard. This requires about an hour of work every day by one of my staff, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then on Tuesday, when you see that larger report come out, that's an extended amount of time that that person's working on that. So, working with the county health department on that. I have a little bit of maybe in the future good news from Mr. Dibble. We attended a Resilient New York flood study project that was done on Clear Creek. Most of Clear Creek is in Cattaraugus County, somewhat in Wyoming County, and a tiny little bit in Allegheny County up around Centerville. The project, I was not particularly familiar because they weren't really doing much of the work in our county, but Resilient New York is a flood study project where they analyze things that could be done to improve the situation along tributaries to a larger system. And that's exactly what Mr. Dibble was looking for a few years ago when we had done our short analysis. And so I asked the coordinator, the state coordinator, where's the Genesee River in your plans? And he said, well, we were funded for 2 years. We're in our second year. And when we finish I think there's 25 or more streams they're doing this project, then we're going to move on to a new one. And I said, well, sign up the Upper Genesee River. We've got a whole bunch of them for you. And so I'm trying to make that contact so that maybe in a few years we can have some of the tributaries looked at. They get right down to analyzing the engineering needed to make flood hazard improvements, changing the floodplain, maybe putting a dam or something in certain spots. They look at all that stuff through this program. So that would be very cool if that were to come to fruition. The shared services program, we held a meeting, and unfortunately we did not have a quorum. So I'm asking you legislators to encourage every single town supervisor and village mayor that the next round, which is in a couple weeks, we need them to come to the meeting and vote, because without a quorum, we can't wrap it up for the year. And so you have to have 21, and we had 17. We were that close. But
Ms. Root,
anything you can do to encourage would be helpful.
Madam Chairwoman,
Yes.
Thanks. Are these virtual? Is there an option for virtual with this or no?
Nope.
It was virtual.
It was virtual.
So
Okay,
we're
can't
going to
help you then.
we're going to be trying a hybrid system moving forward because I think there may be some people that can't participate virtually. Perhaps we can get a quorum using a hybrid method.
Thank you.
The last thing I wanted to point out, there's a lot of things that we're working on. You can see all these bullet points. Pretty much each bullet is a project going on. It was the Wild Souls, Wild Places campaign. And speaking with the chairman, Deb Root, we decided that we would add this for the next few months to our agenda items so that you would see how this is going and get a feel for what it all means. So I gave you a handout, has the trees on the front, and some very basic summary on how things are going. At this point, I asked Brenda if she would run the video that was being used in September, and if Mr. Riki could click that light when she gets that turned on, that'd be awesome. And crank up the volume. Maybe. No, that's the PowerPoint. We need the actual video.
When I graduated college, I didn't really know exactly where I was going to end up or how I was going to get a job. I had went to school for urban and regional planning. With urban planning, you can do it in any city, town, village in America. I am from Naperville, Illinois, which is a suburb about an hour west of Chicago. I packed up my car and drove out here to Allegheny County to get experience and kind of find out what I really wanted to do. At first I was like, yeah, no chance. I mean, I can't just pick up and leave, and it would be so hard, and I don't know, how this would even work. I got a job in Chicago, and it wasn't really going well. I wasn't getting the experience that I wanted. I wasn't getting the opportunity that I thought I, deserved and that I thought I could do well with. It wasn't, fulfilling enough for me. So I decided what I really wanted was experience and responsibility and to work with people that I know, were great to work with. Kind of felt like I needed to be able to do more and see more and explore and be able to work in an environment that I really appreciated and work in kind of a blank canvas. You never know what you want to do with your career until you really experience it. You need a wealth of experience before you really choose that career path. This is a world of opportunity.
Thank you. So what we're doing with these are interviews, as you can see, with different folks who have come to the county or live in the county and have a good experience here, and what they are bringing is why people might want to come move here, live here, work here. And so each month we're running a different campaign, a different video, and initially we were targeting the Buffalo market. So you can actually get down and say, we want to pick up all of Amherst and around the town of Amherst. And so we're targeting those towns, Hamburg, Amherst, Tonawanda, Niagara Falls, all around there. And when people click and they have certain demographics over there on their Facebook, it'll pop up and it'll be a very short little video, a 10-second video that they can click on to tease them. And if they click into the ad, then they can they watch the entire video. And if they want to, they can then go to our new micro site, which is under the Western New York Wilds, and it talks about living here. And it has lots of information that we built out back in the summer. So the page that you see here is how do we do in the first month. This went fully live around September 7th. And these results are between September 7th and September 30th. And we had about 127,000 people. The ad came up and they interacted a little bit with it. Then we had 10,000 people, and that number isn't on this for some reason, but 10,000 views of the actual video. So 10,000 people in the Buffalo market have watched that little video about Nick and seen our message. That's pretty good. We've not seen that kind of interaction with something. And then of the 10,000, 1,377 actually, or 1,286 clicked into the microsite and actually looked at our new website. So that, if you see the second bullet there, the paid Facebook ads accounted for approximately a quarter of the total website to the traffic on the Western New York Wild site in August or September. So that's pretty good. And we are targeting millennials and older adults. And we have statistics that back all that up. So we're seeing hard numbers that we can connect. And this is the way we like to try to do things in the future is we put something out there. We'd like to know, did anybody actually look at it? And that's why we're starting to show this to you. We know we're spending money and we're doing work and we're putting a lot of effort in. What are we getting back? Long term, we're hoping that these people either come visit or come and move here. That's going to be harder to quantify. These are things we can quantify easily. Those are harder. So we were hoping that after 6 months, we'd have 160 new followers on Facebook. In the first month, we added 41. That's pretty good. And we have a newsletter we're working on starting to distribute. We haven't really put that out yet, but out of that, we did get 7 new subscribers, and we actually doubled that in the last 20 days. So we're doing pretty well, I think. Mr. Money. So to follow up, you may recall that I asked for a transfer from the conference line at the last month's meeting, and that will allow us to create 2 new videos as well as put some in the Rochester market. So in November and December, we'll also have results for the Rochester market. And the 2 extra videos were folks that are involved with the Swain Ski Center. So we're making that connection. And we'll end up, initially, we'll have 6 videos done. And then depending on how the budget goes and how this is all rolling, we'll see where we go well into next year. But we have enough material right now to get us to spring in those 2 markets.
Mr. Healy?
Thank you. Is there any way to fine tune this anymore so that we can tell who's looking at our site? I mean, if any way we're telling if any businesses are looking at it, if these are individuals, if the individuals are what their
Somewhat,
more demographic?
somewhat, yes.
Employed, unemployed?
We didn't want to go too deep, especially on this first round. But there's something called Google Analytics that we use on the website, which allows you to do a lot of that analysis. And we haven't asked for that all to be boiled down yet. We want to get a little more time under us. At this point, we were only a month in, but we will be looking at some of that, yes. And then the Facebook ads, they also create a whole bunch of analytics, and we haven't pulled that all yet either. But this was sort of the top information, let you know the money is being spent well. We're getting people to look at what we're doing, and we're pretty thrilled with the numbers so far.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Dibble?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Sure, you might look at 8 to 10 months of real estate sales and see where they came from to buy property here. It might develop another market.
Actually, that was part of the reason that we picked the Buffalo market first. We were looking through the fine paper from Cuba, which lists real estate every week, and it seemed like almost half of the transactions this past year were out of the Buffalo market. It was pretty shocking when we started leafing through there to see Tonawanda and Amherst and Clarence and all those towns popping up over and over and over. So, yeah, we're working right on that.
So I don't know how many of you legislators are on Facebook. If you are, you can go and search for Western New York Wild and like the page, and now you're going to see it in real time as these things are going out. So.
That was all I had for today, I think.
Does
Any other
anyone have any
questions?
other questions for Kier?
Very good.
Thank you. Okay, next up, we have the monthly report from Gretchen Hanchett. She's not here, and I don't see anybody here. If we have any questions with her report, we can get back to her and get some answers. Next up is Craig Clark, Economic Development / Industrial Development Agency. He has his monthly report. Craig, we all received his report earlier. Craig, is there something you want to highlight?
Well, before I go to my report, I wanted to mention this effort that we're doing to attract people to the county is very similar to Be in Buffalo, and West Buffalo Niagara is doing a very similar thing. And the website is actually very similar to it, kind of marketing to the millennium, I can't even say it, younger
Millennium.
folks. But it's also the other folks, because if you look at not just the real estate, but the people that travel to the county right now for things like four-wheeling, a lot of them are coming from the Buffalo region. So that's why Buffalo was picked first. And I think it's not that Rochester isn't important, but you got to go where people are coming from and already being exposed. So I think it's great work. And it's money. Yeah, you can't do both. We went through that. But I think targeting it actually gives you better results anyway, so we're good. Are there any questions on my report? I will go through it. We continue to work at the crossroads. I've had talks with 2 of 3 different hotel developers. I'm hoping we get some movement at least on one of them fairly soon, and still working on a restaurant. As you well know, when you go past the crossroads, it's still very, very busy. So it's nice to now have a space that we can have some data on that says what kind of traffic you have. That's going to make a big difference, and it has. The one that I added this time, Angel Fund's still active. We still are working on a project. The one I added was Arvos Lundstrom. I didn't add that before only because it was pretty private. It was confidential. But as you've noticed, they won a big project. It was pretty much splashed all over the news. We're really excited. They're really excited. There's going to be some major investment on that project in the facility, as well as we've gotten, the college did, but I worked on that, $1.4, almost $1.5 million on grant funding for training dollars, and $625,000 of that is directly to Arvos. The other $625,000 directly to Alstom. And everybody said, well, why'd you work with two different ones not in our county? Well, I can tell you that a lot of our county residents work at Alstom. And on top of that, having two main large companies that need help made a big difference on getting that grant. So it wasn't just focusing on one large company, but two. And both of them are going to add at least 100, if not more, employees. And that's what the training money is for. So we're excited about that. Any questions on that? Yes.
Mr. Dibble?
I think just a comment. Several years ago, Conrail wanted to scrap out the Erie main line. This county really worked hard through Congressman Houghton to keep that railroad. And we did it. Hadn't been done, you wouldn't have a project like this in Wellsville. So, moving on.
But that's a real exciting project. That's why we're glad that it got the press that it did. Also, Arvos is looking at other potential wind projects, so this is like the first of many. So I don't think this will be, it's a start of many projects, which is really good.
Mr. Stockton?
The jobs, I've understood that most of them are, all of them are going to be welding.
A high percentage, not all. They've already hired some of the other folks that are going to be management level. They've already been hiring. They've hired, I think, a half a dozen already. So it's not going to be all, but yes, it'll be mostly welders, yes.
But not machinist types.
No, typically welding, yes.
So it doesn't become a option for many of the former preheater.
They've already hired some some preheaters, some where?
From Dresser?
Dresser. You meant Dresser. They've already hired folks from Dresser. That I can tell you.
Call back someone there.
Right. And call back other people, and it's still good news. I know what you're saying.
No.
So they're looking at Dresser employees as well. Because obviously both plants had quite a few welders as well, so it wasn't the main part of what they did, but it was a big part. You know, they had a lot of welders. Continue to work with Wellsville Business Park. They still have some people we're discussing with. Clean energy projects. I don't know if you've been watching, but there's a clean energy project. You know, we're proposing one in Alfred, and there's a virtual meeting coming up next Thursday, right, the 28th. So if anybody's interested, we can get you that information. So, do you have any comments on that, Jan? Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah, well, I've got the link as well, so. Right. It's the same company that's looking to do a large, similar-sized project up in Hume, too. So the other clean energy projects are progressing. There's 2 or 3 of them that are going to probably be finishing close to the end of the year or the beginning of next year. That's the biggest thing, and I don't have anything else. I mentioned last time that we have a potential new company coming into the Kmart Plaza. It has not been finalized, but we're still working through on that. Other than that, I did finally travel. I went to the New York State Economic Development Council meeting in Cooperstown. That was the first, it was their largest conference they'd had in about 3 or 4 years because people were just tired of not meeting in face-to-face. So that was it was interesting meeting, that's all I can say. Very good meeting. Any comments or questions? Quiet group.
Mr. Ricky?
Yes?
Just a general question.
Sure.
Over the last 4 years, you come in and give us a report.
Right.
A lot of time we always want information.
Sure.
You say, what do you have? You say you can't speak of it.
Right.
It's a non-disclosure.
Right.
Who signs the non-disclosure?
I do.
Who else?
I mean, what do you mean by that?
The other side or is your board? Who all signs it? The company.
You're talking about who signs it on our side?
Yeah.
Who's working with them? And last time we actually, both me and Kier signed one, so. Yeah, the ones that are working directly with them. Because they're not working directly with them.
If we wanted more information, though, as the Board of Legislators, we could also sign on to any non-disclosure.
If there's something that they would agree that, yes, they could have you sign a non-disclosure.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd want to have 12 legislators or 15, but there's potential, yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? If not, thank you, Craig.
Okay, thank you.
So moving on, item number 7, Carissa Knapp has a MOE. I think, do we have it in our packet? We do not.
I think there was a new agenda that came out this morning, and it was
Okay.
in there.
Okay, so we have it. It's not in mine.
So this is the same MOE we do every year, where we name the Planning and Development Group as our tourist promotion agency, and we give permission to apply for the I Love New York matching funds. And it's the same one we do every year, right around this time, and here it is.
Okay, so my understanding then, this also has to be sent to the state very quickly.
Yes, it does. We will be doing a resolution naming the TPA, and it's, again, the same resolution we do every year, and the application itself does need to get right away up to the state, because it is due very soon.
Okay, Mr. Dibble?
Move it.
Mr. Dibble makes a motion to move this. Do we have a second? Mr. Curran seconds it. Any further discussion on this MOE? If not, I'll ask for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried.
Do you want that to come off the floor on Monday?
I think it should, because it is actually due next Friday, so we should have that resolution first.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Madam,
Yes,
I apologize. You moved so fast, and I did have a question. Is it okay to ask a question now?
sure.
Okay, the $68,000, how long has it been at that amount? How many years?
I can't remember. Perhaps the deputy budget director can remember. It's gone down. I know that. It used to be a lot more than that.
Kier,
We always apply for more, and then state determines by a calculation what is our share. It is estimated to be $68,000 this year. It has fluctuated between 57 and 68, I'd probably say, for the last several years. We'll get notification of what it is at some point in time. I think last year it was 64. I was going to look that up,
I
but
think it was
yeah,
62 maybe.
yeah, it was
somewhere.
somewhere around there. But it does fluctuate. 68, and this MOE is really just an estimate.
Whatever we get, we have to match?
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
But
We
always apply
we
for
like to
more.
put it in the budget at the highest that we think we might get, so that we don't have to come back and ask you for more later.
Okay, thank you.
And this used to be much higher between like 2000, 2010, and then has kind of gone down since then. It looks like, for my numbers, I think the high was in 2009, 127,000, so.
Like many state revenues.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a couple referrals, and this was a referral from the Committee of the Whole last time, and this is in reference to the local law, which we all have on the development, establishing an Office of Development and a Development Advisory Board. You all got a copy of what this local law, there's 3 pages of what the law is right now. As a result of a motion made in our Committee of the Whole, we were to go back and make a resolution, and I don't have this, but you all have a copy of, I don't have that. Okay. So as a result of the Committee of the Whole, we went back and worked with county attorney and the county administrator, and what you see in yellow is the only additions that we put into this local law. The local law, as a resolution, was to add the title of Deputy Director of Development back into the local law, well, not back into, but into the local law, and to add the advisory board back into the local law that was taken out in 2010. So if you want to see the old law, this is the old law, it's 3 pages. If you want to see the 3 sentences that we added, they're highlighted, it's pretty clear. We put back in the advisory board will consist of a minimum of 9 members to a maximum of 17, at-large members to be appointed by the chair of the County Board of Legislators, subject to approval of the Board of Legislators. Item B, the chair of the Board of Legislators shall appoint to the Development Advisory Board representatives from organizations directly associated with economic development, including but not limited to representatives from the following categories: business, education, and government. So those are the recommendations to add to the local law as a result of a resolution coming out of the Committee of the Whole. If we move this, I think we need to make a resolution to move this forward, to have a public hearing. That public hearing would be November 8th, if I'm correct. Is that correct?
I believe that's the date. I don't have my calendar open for November.
You were going to take that resolution off the floor on Monday too then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. After the public meeting. Mr. Healy? All right. Thank you. Do we have a second? Mrs. Hopkins seconds it. Any further discussion on what is being presented for amendment? Mr. Ricky?
This all stuff we were just handed.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in agreement with a lot of it, not all of it. I know you don't get all you want. It's just going to be a protest vote. I don't appreciate being handed something 2 seconds after you hit the gavel. I should have had this a little sooner. I know it's pretty much what we discussed, but there's a few more things here. But, it's just a protest vote. I'm not asking anybody else to follow me, but a local law, I'm not voting out somebody hands it to me. I've been here for all morning. Somebody could have got to me a little sooner than that's, I'll be a no on it, just for that reason only.
That's fine. You're just voting on to move this to a public
hearing.
And then the board will approve the changes to the local law. So all we're asking is to move this forward for a public hearing. Mr. Curran? Mrs. Hopkins?
I was just maybe gonna clarify too and ask a question that in moving this forward, we're not voting on the law today. We are simply giving it to people to look at, to study, to be able to comment and vote on that at a later time, correct?
November 8th would be the day that it would come off the floor for the board to vote on this.
And that, the way it happens is the law is presented to the board. Someone has to introduce the law. You do the resolution setting the public hearing. So the public hearing itself is not on the 8th. The vote to set the public hearing is on the 8th. Then you'll have the public hearing, and after the public hearing, then you can adopt the law. And I just want to make sure I have that all right. Maybe Mr. Minor, do I have that correct? They have to introduce the law to the full board, have the resolution setting the public hearing, and then the public hearing, then the law.
Yes.
Hearing on the 8th.
That's what we want.
And then the actual adoption of the local law after the public hearing could occur on the 8th also.
Well, they have to set the public hearing date and have the public hearing first. There's got to be a time lapse in between the 8th when they do the resolution setting the hearing and the hearing itself, correct?
Well,
the resolution has to be 5 days of notice prior to the public hearing.
So could this come off the floor on Monday at the board meeting, setting the date for November 8th?
I think it could, yes.
Yeah.
And
Mr. Healy?
Just any legislator also can make comments at the public hearing.
You can make comments at the public hearing. You could make, obviously comments and discussion when you vote as well.
Any further discussion on this? Mr. Crandall?
Thank you. Mine concerns the language that is here that you've highlighted. And we did have this discussion in Committee of the Whole and then came out referring these changes to this committee. And I guess originally my concern was, as we talked about the different groups and who would be represented on this advisory board, this language paints that in a pretty broad sense. And that was my concern, that we would end up too narrow and then end up with disputing who ought to be represented on this advisory board. If you recall, a steering committee was put into place and geared on business education and government, and different folks were invited to be a part of that. The difference between that and this, in my opinion, is this is an appointment that's made by the chairman of the board, but confirmed by all of the members of this board. So everyone here has an input as to the makeup of this advisory board. So I think this language works in achieving what the intent was, and is painted in a broad enough way so that we can flux and move and bring in different interests as it moves forward. Our development may change directions in time, and we need to have representation from different backgrounds on this board. So good language, and look forward to seeing it move forward.
I'll make one other comment concerning that too. When we were looking at this, how do you make this local law forward-thinking, 10 years, 20 years still valid? And getting down in the weeds with a lot of detail really confines you. If you find in 5 years the situation in Allegheny County has changed and you may want to add different people on that, you would have to go back and amend the law. I think this is the third time this law has been amended right now, so we were doing this with that in mind, that it would give us something for the future. It was workable. So, Mr. Curran, do you have, somebody had their hand up, Mr. Healy?
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. As you remember, the committee of the whole, that was one of my concerns also, the makeup of the advisory board, and that we had a little more latitude than what was presented to us at the time to do that, and I'm glad to see that that's been addressed, and I think this serves well, as you said, and Chairman Crandall both have said, for now and for the future too. So thank you, I appreciate it.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Good discussions, and we all listen and learn from each other in those discussions. Mr. Healy, thank you.
Madam Chairwoman?
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm sure it's in here somewhere, but I can't find it. Is there any language regarding the term of the appointments of the members of the advisory board?
No.
I think I actually gave away my copy, so I can't tell.
No, there isn't.
Is that by design?
Not by my design, it's just the way it came through, so no.
And I don't think it was in the old law either. I don't think there was any reference to that. And it says, I think,
Without any reference to it, they'd serve the same term as the board. So if you appoint them in January, they'd probably serve the same 4-year term with the board.
For anyone with
pleasure of the chair.
I did see that, thank you. So I guess the question is, somebody with more experience than I have, is that common with these local laws when they establish advisory boards, that there's no indication of a term of appointment?
Mr. Crandall?
I believe that we will have a separate resolution that will adhere to this local law, that will make these appointments and have some of those length of terms and that outlined in that. I haven't been here all that long. Brenda's been here a lot longer than I have.
Yeah.
But I believe that that's correct, isn't it, Brenda, that we would have another resolution establishing and adhering to this local law, putting together those appointments in that committee?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just maybe expound on that too? Just that it seems like a further structure of any organization needs to be more specific and done in the next step. Again, if we put all of that in the local law, it would really hinder what we could do down the road. So I'm glad to hear there would be another resolution that would define that a little bit more clearly.
I think lots of times when the local law is developed, though, they do list some parameters, appointment terms, people that might be appointed. We can certainly do it in a separate resolution, but I think that many times when we've created these in the past, it was included in that initial resolution. But if it's not available, we can certainly do it in a later one.
Thank you. So without any further discussion, are we ready to vote? All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? One opposed. The motion's carried. So, moving on, is there anything for old business today? Do we have anything for new business? Anything for the good of the order? If not, I'll ask for an adjournment. Mr. Dibble makes a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? Mr. Barnes seconds it. All in favor for adjournment, please say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.